And I
Yeah.
sort of just pushed myself. I don't know whether it was just a change in the fact I was 11, maybe I was maturing a bit, a bit of stage fright when I was younger. I think I was
Really?
quite a shy kid. Yeah.
Why did you want to specify only on horror acting? Hello, and welcome to the Anmol Lakhani Show, Series 2, Episode 3. I just had to check we're on Episode 3 because I've had so many interviews recently. I don't even know what episode I'm on. But yeah, we're on Episode 3, and we are joined by Lewis Santer.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Very good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, been all right. Just been busy
Good.
with lots of interview prepping,
Hmm.
been like, gathering guests for my show. So yeah, life's
Yeah.
going sweet.
Good. Busy is good. That's very good.
Yeah. And obviously with recent like bonfire night, Diwali and Halloween and all that, I've been very busy with that.
Celebrating as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
You
stuff.
did
Nice.
you do anything on Halloween?
No, Halloween. No, I didn't. I was quite busy over Halloween. I saw my girlfriend for a bit shortly after, but no, I was kind of working over Halloween and bonfire night, so I've been quite busy with
Oh,
work as well, like various bits and bobs to do with work. So I've not really had a chance to sort of celebrate Halloween or
see
bonfire night.
fireworks or anything?
No, I didn't, literally, I was just busy, just working. So I'm sort of overdue for, I think, a night out or like a little get together with some friends and stuff. Do you know what I
Oh,
mean? But
that's lovely.
yeah, but the same as you, I've been just been really busy with work and stuff, so not really had time to stop. But
It's always nice to take time out and, do things
yeah, of course, yeah, it's
rather than
important.
just work, work, work all the time.
Yeah. But it's addictive. Do you know what I mean? And I've got stuff
Yeah.
up that I'm grateful for.
It's
Like,
like once you start, you can't stop.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, I'll make sure
Yeah.
to you know put together like to or put aside some time for myself to meet some friends and whatnot. So
Yeah. And what about Christmas? Got any plans then?
Christmas, just sort of spending time with family, seeing my girlfriend as well. Definitely take some time off for Christmas. I think December is a month that I kind of want to. Obviously, if good opportunity came up or any work or something like that, that'd be great. But I'm going to try and steer away from work a bit in December. I think
Yeah.
I do some Christmassy things. Like I'm not really in the. Obviously, I know everyone says it, but I'm not really in the Christmas mood yet. Do you know what I mean? So it'd be nice to go to
Yeah.
some markets or I don't know. Do you know what I mean? That kind of, or just see some family, see some old friends and stuff, and sort of celebrate a little bit. So it'd be nice to sort of have that month maybe to chill, and
Yeah.
then hit it hard in January in the new year.
For me, Christmas always starts in August, all that planning and all that.
Oh
So,
really?
yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
really? See, I'm one of those people. I always like to celebrate the start of December. I always think Halloween's gone, and then you see the decorations and stuff in like November in the shops, and I'm like, oh god. For me, I feel like it's too early, but I know there's some people that celebrate it like yourself from like
it,
September.
it literally gets earlier and earlier every year.
Yeah.
I mean, like by this time next year, it'll probably be like in June or July.
Start celebrating. Yeah. As soon as it's
Yeah.
done.
I mean, we're still in summertime, but it's a bit crazy to do it then.
Yeah. Well, whatever floats your boat.
All right, let's start then. So, we're gonna talk about getting into acting first of all.
Mm-hmm.
And how did you get into it? What inspired you to do it?
When Spider to, I feel like I've always sort of been a bit of an actor, like without realizing it. Like I was always, when I was a kid, I used to like sort of run around the house and like quote films, do little performances for like my mum and dad, and like I'd watch a film, come over and like then do a whole scene on my own, like, playing different characters. And they always said you should be an actor, you got to do acting, and I always thought no. And then when I was about 11, I did a school performance, and I always was quite like I had a bit of stage fright when I was younger. I think I was
Really?
quite a kid, yeah,
I
in
would
like
never have known.
yeah, I know, and it's weird. And then when I was 11, I kind of just changed a bit because there was this play they were doing, and it was Cinderella Rockefeller. I remember it, and I went for the role of Dandini, which is like Rockefeller's agent, so he's like one of the main characters. And I sort
Yeah.
of just pushed myself. I don't know whether it was just a change in the fact I was 11, maybe I was maturing a bit, So I went for the bigger sort of role. And I just loved it. I was on stage, I had loads of lines to learn, and obviously I had like my own little monologues and like moments just to myself on stage. And I think from that day on, I still remember the feeling of just like the rush of the audience laughing and the applause and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And ever since that day, I've just always loved acting. And it's like I always see it as like a drug. Like it is like once you've done a good performance or you've really, put your heart into a character and then you get good feedback or people love it or they laugh or they clap. It is like a drug to me. So
Yeah.
ever since that day, I started doing it at secondary school, like studied drama, did it for GCSEs, Went on to do performing arts at college, which was a great college. I was performing arts, and then that was it. And then went on to drama school, and obviously then shit got real, and then got an agent, and then started getting jobs and so on and so forth, and then here I am now.
Can I just
Uh,
jump in quickly? It was the
yeah,
East 15 acting school, right?
East 15 acting
Yeah,
school. Yeah,
which
yeah, yeah,
obviously so many famous people have come
yeah.
from
The great alumni.
soaps,
Yeah.
movies.
Hmm. I
So
did acting and stage combat there, so I was quite. Yeah, it was a really, really interesting course. I loved it. Loved it. Yeah.
I guess that leads on to my next question then. Why
Yeah.
did you want to specify only on horror acting?
I didn't say to myself, I just want to do horror acting. What happened was I graduated from drama school, and then my first job was at the Globe, at Shakespeare's Globe. I
Oh,
was
right.
hired by a director that I worked with at East 15, and he really liked me, and he hired me for this job. I played Benvolio in Romeo and Juliet, and that was a really cool show. And I thought I thought whilst I was at drama school, this is the way my career probably will go. It's like Shakespeare, a lot of theatre, a lot of stage stuff. So I got that job, and I thought that was great. I was really grateful for that opportunity. And then whilst I was at the Globe, I got a thing from my agent saying you've got this audition for Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2 for Tigger. And I remember reading it, and I've always been a horror fan. So to me, I was like, okay, it's a really big opportunity. So I remember reading it and being like, oh my God, this character is just perfect. And then obviously auditioned for the role, got the role, and then obviously went on set, did everything, did the work. And ever since that movie sort of not even came out, ever since it got announced, I've always sort of now, I don't know, been seen in this like horror sort of light. And I've done a couple of other horror films since from like working with the same sort of people and stuff like that on different horror projects. So now I feel like, I don't know, you sort of organically go down this road in acting. Do you know what I mean? You start getting seen by a
Yeah.
certain fan base or a certain, production company or something like that. And then they start, and more opportunities pop up from you doing certain films. And obviously my film so far has been many horror films. But at the same time, I'm very grateful, and horror is pretty my favorite genre anyway. So if the rest of my life is just, horror films, I'd be a very happy man. But I feel like I didn't go for it. Like it kind of just sort of happened.
Yeah.
Started
A
getting
happy
seen.
accident. And
This, yeah, very,
yeah.
very happy accident. Yeah. Yeah.
So, so I guess I'm going on to why do you think they gave you the role of Tigger then?
Why did they give it to me?
Like, why do you think they gave it to you?
Well, first of all, so I got sent for the role by my agent. And then I remember I couldn't rest. I remember my agent sent me forward, and I was like, I need to get this role because I read it, and it said like, the inspiration for those characters like Freddy Krueger and Pennywise, Art the Clown, and I'm a massive fan of Pennywise. I've got Pennywise like Funko Pop here, like I'm a huge
Mm.
Pennywise fan. I've got tattoos, big Freddy Krueger fan. Always wanted to work with prosthetics, and I've always wanted to play a horror icon as well. So all this role just ticked off so many boxes, and it was like a
Yeah,
perfect
sorry.
role.
And I've just seen
So
I was looking at your Instagram and the
yeah,
aesthetics are crazy.
yeah.
Like they're literally so bright, so colorful. They look exactly like the character of Tigger in the
Yeah.
kids film, but the horror
Oh yeah, it's
version.
incredible. Yeah, the prosthetic studio who made it all, they're just incredible. They're so talented. Yeah, when I first saw it, I went crazy. I was so excited. But I feel like I got the role for a few reasons. I mean, I followed everyone on Instagram, and then Reese, the director, got in touch with me, and I
Yeah.
think he liked my look. I think Reese and Scott's obviously the producer, who plays Christopher Robin. But I think they liked my look. Like they wanted someone, like they wanted my height, they wanted my build, they said they liked my facial features, which is like it kind of goes well with aesthetics. So all sort of my appearance ticked off a lot of boxes, I think. So I think that was the first thing was the appearance, and then they said, right, can we see a self tape? So the self tape was crazy. I had to go into this room and like turn off these lights and like play with the lights and play with my victim, and then I had to like
Yeah.
gore him to death and stuff like that, or whatever it was. It was a crazy self tape, and I was really proud of it. Obviously, sent it in, and that was it. And they just really liked the self tape, and I think me, Reese, and Scott, I think we all clicked on what we wanted for the character. I think what Reese and Scott wanted for Tigger is what I thought of straight away when I had the character sent to me. Like I had it sent to me, and I thought I know how I'd play this like instantly. And then I think that just was the same wavelength to what those guys wanted. So we sort of just met in the middle, and it was just yeah, went on from there.
Remind me of the name again, Scott, because I've heard of that name because I saw him in a like previous film that I watched in the cinema, like a kids
Got
film.
Chambers, yeah.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
he's an actor and producer, yeah.
Yeah, I remember watching him in a kids film, and I
Yeah,
follow
he's
him as well.
great.
He does
Yes, he's
lots of
great.
brilliant things.
Yeah, oh yeah, he does loads, yeah.
So, what kind of characteristics does this Tigger have to the other one that it has
Um,
in the kids film? And by the way,
so
let me tell you, people who are watching, this is not a kids film at all.
no,
It
no,
is
yeah.
the much more scarier version.
If you think you're watching it for the Tigger that everyone knows and loves, you're
Yeah.
not. Yeah, it's very different from that. I think there's stuff that's similar that we wanted to keep in the character, and there's stuff that's different. You know, like in terms of like, for example, like the energy of the character. Obviously, Tigger's biggest thing is that he's full of energy. You know, and he's like this sort of this bundle. He's a bundle of energy, and he doesn't stop and sort of things. So we wanted to keep that in the character, but make him murderous, obviously. So it's like it's how do you do that? So I remember when I first got the role, I was saying to Reese and Scott, I was saying, "Oh, right, guys, what do you want, for the character?" And they were saying, "Just picture it like he's on 20 Red Bulls at once and ready to kill." And I thought that was the best sort of direction ever. Like he's just this just psycho sort of thing with like never ending energy and adrenaline like running through him. So we kept those sort of elements of the character from the cartoon still in him. But obviously the difference is he's bloodthirsty and he's vicious and he's a psychopath. So it's kind of it's interesting because you're sort of paying homage to the cartoon, but also
Yeah.
to like the horror fans as well, with like in terms of the fact that there's a lot of Freddy Krueger in him in terms of his voice and his personality, and there's a lot of like
It's not
Pennywise.
that cute
Um,
original voice
no,
from
no,
the
no, no,
first
no.
from the
So the
kids,
voice. So I don't know
just
if
to
you've heard the
specify.
voice. But my inspiration for the voice was Freddy Krueger, and I changed it a little bit. I tried to make it a little bit more my own. So I gave it like a bit of I put a little bit of Ghostface in there. I feel like a little bit of made it my own sort of voice.
From Scream,
And then
right?
what's that from Scream? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And the movement was more like Pennywise. Like I wanted this like unpredictable sort of movement where it goes from like slow movement to really quick movement, and you're not really too sure, what this guy's going to do next. But then at the same time, you've got to keep that energy in him. You've got to keep that bounciness in him. That
Yeah.
is from the cartoon. So it's like it's sort of putting all those things into this character and trying to meet in the middle somewhere and have this balance of the Tigger that we know and love, but this new version of him as well. So trying to
Can I ask you, did you watch the Winnie the Pooh, the animated version?
No, no. I mean, I watched it when I was a kid. I loved it. Obviously, I didn't watch it when I
Same.
got the role, but when I was and Tigger was my favorite character. That's what's quite funny. Is this is what I mean about this character being perfect for me. Another thing I was going to say as well is like that my family always have called me Tigger, and I've always been called Tigger by like my friends and other people that I've known in my life because I'm quite an energetic person anyway. Like I'm always a bit bouncy. I'm always sort of a bit, my mind's always working quick. So I've been called Tigger before, and when I got the role, I remember I told my family, and my nan was like, "Oh, do you not remember you had all these like Tigger toys?" And she brought them all out, and had loads of like Tigger
It's
figures, and
the
one of them
wrong
was like a
one.
hand. Yeah, the one from the cartoon.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's almost manifested into it because it was like I was a massive fan of the cartoon character. Then I became a horror nut, like I love horror films, and then now this role comes in, which is sort of everything from my childhood sort of mashed up into one. So yeah, it's interesting.
And did your family get to see you in the horror film as
Uh,
well?
hmm So my family all hate horror films. My mum doesn't like them. My dad doesn't like them, but they all watched it. Bless him.
That's fair.
But I think my nan and my cousins actually sat through the whole thing, and my dad did as well. But I think my mum couldn't do it. I think she was like in the other room, and then like when I was on the screen, she'd then come in and watch my bits, but she couldn't deal with all the gory death scenes and stuff like that, which is understandable. But yeah, so they did watch it, and they really enjoyed it. Like my dad, for example, he doesn't like horror films, but he loved this one because it's a really fun and it's sort of like an action film as well. There's a lot of action in it and a lot of fast paced sort of vibe sort of to it.
Uh-huh.
So I feel like people that aren't even fans of horror films can enjoy this film as well. I feel like.
And I heard there's going to be a third one
Yeah, so we
somewhere.
got Pooniverse is our next film that we're doing, well that I'm in, and then we got Winnie the Pooh, Bloods and Honey 3, and then we've got other ones like Tigger's Return. I know it's been like it's sort of coming out there a little bit, and it's kind of not been fully confirmed, but it's sort of been revealed. And other, I mean, there's like a long string of films in this universe.
And you're
Um,
doing Bambi, am I right? The horror.
Bambi's been filmed. I'm not in Bambi. It's the same
Oh,
universe as us. So what it is like we got Bambi who's being filmed. Peter Pan's been filmed. They're filming Pinocchio right now. And obviously it's all in the same universe, so they're all sort of characters that I will eventually meet in Pooniverse, and that's our next one where it all sort of comes together and it's Avengers style horror film.
Yeah. Can I just
Yeah,
ask, what in their right mind would they want to turn a cute little kids anime film into such a horror film? I mean,
yeah,
I'm
I
sure you
love
must
it.
have guessed like,
Yeah.
oh, this does not sound right, but on script it does.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love it because I feel like these are characters that I forgot about. Do you know what I mean? Like I wouldn't watch Winnie the Pooh anymore because I feel like it's a bit weird. Like I'm 24 now, and if I was
Yeah.
still watching Winnie the Pooh, I think people would be a bit worried about me. And same with Bambi, same with Peter Pan. Like these are kids things that I don't watch, and I'm sure a lot of adults don't watch anymore. So I feel like it's quite interesting to sort of reignite these characters in the world, and but in a different light where adults can now enjoy it and horror fans can now enjoy it. So I love it. I think it's a really good idea, very original, and yeah. And I didn't watch the first one until I got the role, so I knew about it. I remember hearing about it whilst I was at drama school, but once I got cast as Tigger, I then watched the first one, and I was just like, this is just great because if it wasn't for those films, I would never watch anything to do with Winnie the Pooh, like the cartoon, probably ever again. Do you know what I mean? Unless I was with like,
Yeah.
unless I had kids or something. But now you can enjoy these characters in a different light, and that's why I think it's quite really, interesting approach.
Okay, so let's move on to horror movies now. And if you had the choice to be in any other horror movie apart from your own one, what would it be?
Oh, that's a good question. Um, I've always said my dream role was the Joker, but that's not really horror, is it? It's more superheroes.
No.
I would say probably Pennywise. If I could have a crack at Pennywise, say there's another actor to take on Pennywise in years to come after Bill's done, Bill Skarsgård once he's done. I would love to have a crack at that. I think because his version is very different from Tim Curry, so it feels like there's a lot of range with that character. You can sort of have a lot of play with it. So if in like years to come that role was available, I'd love to have a crack at Pennywise.
And hopefully that will give you more motivation to get seen now. In
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I love those sort of characters. I feel like because I tried to make Tigger quite similar to Pennywise anyway, in terms of like having like fun with the killing. I think that's quite cool. That's why I love the Joker so much because it's like this ultimately negative thing, which is obviously murdering people, and then but with this other positive thing, which is like they're having fun, they're laughing through it, and it's like they're having the best time in their life. I find that really interesting. So Pennywise is also in that bracket, so I think he'd be a cool character to play.
And finally, let's move on to meeting your girlfriend. So you actually met your girlfriend on set, am I right?
I didn't meet her on set. What it was my first day on set. I got there, and obviously I had just watched the first Winnie the Pooh horror film. So Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey one. So I knew about her, and I think I followed her on Instagram. I think I might have maybe typed her up and
Yeah.
followed her from the film. And I got on set, and I remember I was chatting to Scott, who's obviously the producer and plays Christopher Robin, that we mentioned earlier, Chambers. And he's just the best. Me and him literally had such a laugh when I first got on set. And I think about 2 hours into being there, he came up to me and he just said, "By the way, you've got to meet my mate Natasha Tosini, who's in the first one in the Pooh, because you two are literally the exact same." And he just said, "He's like, you two are like just the same person in terms of your personality and stuff." And I was like, "Well, yeah, obviously." And then I said, well, "Obviously, that I'd love to meet her." And then literally, I think we wrapped on that day, went to bed, and when I woke up the next, I say morning, but the next like, afternoon, because it was a night shoot. I woke up to a message from her, which she claims was an accident. She said she didn't mean to message
Really? It
me.
always claims to be an accident.
I know, I don't believe it was an accident still to this day, but she claims it was. Apparently, she meant to message her mate or something, but somehow accidentally messaged me. And then that was it. And then she messaged me and she said, "Oh, then we started talking." And then obviously she saw us on set and I was playing Tigger. And then, yeah, we sort of just bonded over the films and over the people that we sort of met through these films. And that was it. And then we met, I don't know, shortly after, maybe a few weeks after I wrapped. And yeah, and Scott was absolutely right. We are literally the same person. So we just clicked like instantly. And then now we've actually worked with each other. So now we've done two films together now. We've both been in the same film. I'm sure there'll be more to come. But yeah, she's just the best. And yeah, she's just literally the female version of me. So
Oh, that's lovely. That's lovely. And
yeah.
obviously, you guys have a work relationship. But then what about like when you have an after work relationship? So
Yeah.
what's that like? Like do you guys find it easy to switch off?
I think we're just the same. I don't think we changed, to be honest. We are professional. Like when it comes to it, we do like for example, we had Fairest of Them All was a film where I played Mad Hatter and she played Belle, and these are
I
both really good roles for us.
I saw some of those on your story.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that was really fun. That was a really
Yeah,
fun project. And leading up to that, even though we have loads of fun together, like she's like my best mate, but we just do like we do get serious. If we need to learn our lines or if we need to, do some character work and really explore these characters and push ourselves, we are willing to sort of challenge each other,
yeah.
but still have fun with it. And then when we get on set, like I think everyone who was on that set would back us up. That me and her do have a laugh, but we still get the work done. We try our best. We really are passionate about acting, but we still have a laugh. Like
It's like try not to laugh, isn't it? And be
yeah, but
professional.
yeah, exactly. It's just that balance. But between takes, we're still having a laugh, and then even when we get off set, we're still, we were going out like I mean, there were quite long days on that film, but we'd still rap and we'd still be in a good mood. Me and her, we're going to get some food together, or just get back to the hotel and just collapse because we'd be knackered. But yeah, so no, I think we're pretty much the same with each other, even if we're working or not working. We're very much like we just have a lot of fun together.
It's always nice to have that, relationship with someone. Like if you're at work, that's
Hmm.
great because you guys can share the same interest, you can work
Yeah,
together on your lines, and
yeah.
that's exactly what actors do. Can I
Yeah,
just
and we
ask,
are, and we are. We're just perfect for each other. Do you know what I mean? So it's like
yeah,
this is yeah, it's great.
can I just ask you about the night shoots? How long would a night shoot take?
It depends really. Sometimes you get a bit shorter ones. Sometimes they're longer. It could be about I'd say average maybe 10 to 12 hours, but it
Oh,
sometimes goes super quick. I think 12 hours is like the cut-off point, or 10 hours is the cut-off point. There is a cut-off point where everyone's like, right, we're wrapped now, go home, sort of thing. I think it's 10 or 12 hours, but I don't know. It goes quite quick, like especially for Tigger. Like I'd get on set and then it'd take about an hour and a half to 2 hours to get in the makeup, and then I'd get on, we'd do my stuff. But once you're in the makeup, then everything it went so quick for me because I was having the time of my life on that set and like just doing stuff that I dreamt of doing. So for me, it goes really quick. Like you like for example, there's a warehouse scene, and I went in the. I remember I'd get my makeup done outside in the little trailer, go into the warehouse, film for about 6, 7, 8 hours, whatever it is. Obviously, have little
yeah.
breaks and stuff, and then you come out and it'll be bright outside. And it's the weirdest thing. You're going in pitch black, and then by the time you're done, it's like birds are chirping, and the sun's out, and it's
It's like
like
morning again.
yeah, and it just goes really quick. I think it's with anything in life. Like if you're doing something that you're passionate about, and do you know what I mean? It's your art, it's what you love doing, and it just goes quick. I think for me, so I never really struggled with sort of long shooting days or anything like that.
As long as you get those like hours in, and then you're
Yeah,
happy with the finished project afterwards.
yeah,
That's all
exactly.
that
Yeah, it's all
matters.
about putting the hours in. Yeah, that's it. I mean, people love the film, that they absolutely got really good feedback, and the reason is because the guys creating it, the filmmakers, Reese Scott and all the other guys, they put in so many hours into it and really put their heart and soul into these films, and that's why then the finished product is as good as it is.
What's
Um,
what's the reaction like about the Blood and Honey films? Because like you must have had some positive comments, you must have had some
yeah,
negative comments. How do you deal with the trolls as well?
I've been the luckiest person in these films. I have not had any negative feedback. I've been
Oh, that's
like
great.
literally blessed. Like obviously, touch wood. Do you know what I mean? I need to touch some wood now, just in case trolls don't come after me. But I've just been. I know from the first film, I know like Tash, for example, got some negative feedback, and I know some other
Oh,
people did. But for me, I've just been maybe because I don't know. I think the first one got negative feedback because it was so shocking. That was a shock factor. I think people were like, "What the hell is this?"
yeah.
It was absurd in some people's brains, but some people loved it, some people hated it. It's a bit of a Marmite audience. But for the second one, I think people already knew about this stuff by then. So people were used to it. People were like, oh, the first one's already come out. Now it's the second one with a bigger budget, more characters. So it's like people were getting more excited about it. So for me, I mean, I'm very lucky that I've not literally received any negative feedback. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sure maybe one day I'll get a nasty comment or a nasty
I
message.
hope not.
Yeah, I hope not. But you know what I mean? I'm not going to say it will never happen. It might do, but at the moment, I'm very blessed, and it's not. I've not had it yet, so I can't really relate to what people have received at the moment.
And finally, I forgot to ask you this at the beginning.
Hmm.
Who's Lou Santer in a nutshell?
Who's? Oh God, now that's a question. How long you got? You got
Um,
about an hour left now.
yeah,
Look
possibly an
at her
hour.
in a nutshell. Do you know what it is? Is I don't know. With me, I find. I try not to get into my head too much. That's the biggest thing with me. Is like Lewis Santa is like the ultimate fuck it attitude. I try to be that. I try and be. I don't know. It's so. I mean, this is hard explaining yourself, isn't it? I feel like I try
Yeah,
and be kind. I try and be kind to everyone. That's something I always think. If you're not harming anyone in life, I think do whatever you want, as long as you're not, nasty to others. I think that's the most important thing. Obviously, find something you love. Obviously, I feel like I'm very, very passionate. But I'm sure. Do you know what I mean? That's like a given with like actors and stuff. I'm very passionate. Try and be very kind as I can. But with me, I've had times in the past where I've been very much in my head about things. And that's the darker times in my life is when I've been really stressed about stuff or really
yeah,
overthinking. And I can get like that. So for me, I find it's weird. My life's better, my work's better, everything's at a better quality when I kind of say fuck it and don't stress because when you just flow with life, it flows great. And that's what I always say. Try and stay, and I mean it in a positive way when I say fuck it. Do you know what I mean? That
yeah.
sort of
I know what you mean.
that
Yeah,
attitude. And I think people when people hear that, they think they're like, you're going to be like this. Oh, I don't care about anything. It's not that. It's sort of not caring about the things that don't matter. Like if people are negative towards you, or or if
yeah,
something bad happens in your life or whatever, it's that ability to say fuck it, keep following the things that you love, and just keep don't stress about it. Just chase the things you love, and then and don't and the other stuff that is irrelevant, just don't worry about it. Brush it off. Just keep moving forward. That's me in a nutshell, I guess. Does that answer your question?
yeah. Lewis, I think that's such a wonderful thing to end on.
Yeah.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, as
Thank you.
always, and thank you for agreeing to do this interview. Finally got around to it.
Yeah, I know. Sorry. Yeah, it's just been a nightmare the last couple of months. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to stop the recording now. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Thank you for having me. Cheers.